like to now introduce to you one of the co-chairmen this evening and one of the co-hosts, Mr. Burt Lancaster and his daughter Joanna.
She's going to just watch the coach me.
Well, do you want me to make a speech or something?
Mr. Lancaster, why did you become involved with AIDS?
Well, everybody's involved with AIDS. It's something in the news today. In our business, particularly in show business, as you know, we meet very often a great many homosexual people who become very dear friends, very talented people. We've known them for years, from the time I was in circuses over 50 years ago. And I think this is true of virtually everybody who has some experience in show business. To us, they're just people, and they're very talented people. If we dislike them, we dislike them not because they're homosexuals. We dislike them because maybe they're bad people, or we think they're bad people. And I suppose for people who live in communities where they never rub shoulders with people who are gay people, that they're very strange and rather frightening people to them, or they are frightened of them, or they're worried about them, or something of that nature, because their own life experience doesn't allow them to understand or to live with them and to accept them.
Do you have any criticism of our government for having taken so long to respond to this particular?
Not necessarily. I think that's in the nature of things. Until something becomes critical, they tend not to want to deal with it.
There are people in this industry who are afraid.
I'm sorry?
Are there more people in this industry who are afraid to reveal the fact that they're homosexual and
Well,
find that they have AIDS?
it might come to that because somebody was talking about blacklisting. And of course, if it does, then I think it's shocking and it's a shame.
You think it'll come to blacklisting?
I have no idea that it will. And when I was in the other room, we were talking on the video where someone mentioned the fact if I had known about the blacklisting that was coming. I do know about, as an actor, and knowing something about my guild, that there has been some rumors to the extent that the actors may not indulge in kissing scenes anymore, because it seems that kissing, some people feel, or the rumor has arisen that you can contact the disease through kissing. I was telling them I had a doctor friend of mine, a lady doctor, who was writing a book about some of the problems, who indicated to me that perhaps you can get it through tears. Now, every evidence that I read keeps saying there is only the business of actual intercourse and the business of transmission of blood and blood transfusions, things of that kind, that are then knowledgeably, they know for sure can transmit the disease, and the others are not either not true or they have no evidence to the fact that they are. But as has been said, of course, there has been no downright actual the doctors have not been able to say with absolute certainty yet, because they probably haven't gotten into it long enough, that these are the parameters, whatever they may be. This particular woman went on to say that it may be that around 2000 or a little later, we might have a million people having AIDS. Well, if that's true, I mean, we're in terrible trouble. But
question.
You will be reading a letter tonight from Rock.
yes.
What do you feel about what's happened to Rock and how maybe that's shed?
Well, I think that he has had terribly shabby treatment. I mean, I think that's, ironically, I think that it's what has happened to him has brought the whole issue to the surface on a huge international scale. And you might say that that's good. That's certainly, that part of it is good. But the way he has been treated and been slandered and victimized and is just shocking. And the whole lack on the part of some elements of the press to treat him as a human being, and not to take to slant it in such a way that it appeals to the most corrupt elements in people themselves that make them want to read this. And but still, as I say, he has been responsible in a strange sort of ironic way for making it international and focusing attention upon it.
Have you heard anything at all other than rumor about how the fear or the threat of the AIDS illness has changed the way business is being done in Hollywood?
Well, no. The only thing I just mentioned to you was that I heard that there are some rumors to the effect that some actors are concerned about it, as mothers appear to be concerned about sending their children to schools where they think they might be AIDS. All very understandable things when people become frightened, and they're in the dark about something.
Are you frightened?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't have to send any kid to school, for one thing, and it doesn't enter my life. I haven't even thought about it in that respect.
How about in the active?
No, that wouldn't. I would have to have very concrete evidence that we are endangering ourselves, myself and whoever I was in the scene with. There would have to be evidence that is irrefutable. Otherwise, I choose to ignore it.
Thank you, Mr. Lancaster.
As you choose to ignore all those things. You don't go to bed at night and lock your doors because someone might kill you, because you can't live that way.
Mr. Lancaster, have you visited with Mr. Hudson?
No, I've never met Mr. Hudson except briefly years ago at parties, and I don't really know him personally.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr.
I don't
Lancaster.
know that I would want to visit him and really bore the man at this point. God knows he's got enough troubles.
Thank you, Boris.
Okay.
Thank you very much.